I tell you, I like it better the way I am now.
Right.
Because when I see something in the zoo, I recognize it, and...
You say that's a bear.
Right. Yeah.
There's a lion.
Jonathan Winters made 31 appearances on The Tonight Show, starring Johnny Carson, and after watching every digitized episode, I noticed something that changed how I understand improvisational comedy.
Suck on that eggnog. That's your dog here. Come here, Growler.
These 7 moments reveal a mathematical precision in chaos that most comedians still haven't figured out. And what everyone else missed was that Winters wasn't random at all. Number 7, The Marines Story, 3.3 million views and 0 preparation.
I'm a fellow Marine. Fellow Marine.
That's right, you were the Marine.
Corporal. He was a colonel.
Yes, that's right, I remember.
Yeah, there's an awful lot of difference there.
Rarely do you guys mingle with the enlisted guys, right? Right, kid?
At 17 years old, Winters enlisted in the United States Marine Corps and served in the Pacific Theater during World War II.
You didn't like the service, I remember. We'd sat around talking about that several nights.
No, I got along fairly well in the service.
No.
I was always disturbed because I didn't know where I was. And unless you're an officer, you see, you're not clued in. And you're not given the top papers, which I felt I should have had at least 1 or 2 papers.
But when he told Johnny the full story on November 20th, 1974, he skipped every conventional story beat and focused entirely on how catastrophically he failed to fit military structure.
I kept asking questions, which is always trouble. Running up to a captain, you know, or a colonel like yourself and saying, "Where are we, sir?" None of your business. Move out. And I was always moving out.
The segment now sits at 3.3 million views on the official Carson YouTube channel.
I was frightened of the guys. I didn't understand a lot of them. They didn't understand me. I was kidding all the time, you know. I'd be in grandma 1 minute. And, hi, honey, you know.
What separates this from every other celebrity military story is how Winters mocked conformity while honoring service in a way that shouldn't work, but did because he never explained the joke.
That would shake up a barracks late at
I
night.
turned,
Yes.
I'll never forget, to a full bird colonel, and did a voice on him, which I'll never forget. And I said, "Oh, sir, what is your name?"
Little sense of humor.
Don't do that in the Marines very often.
Carson's production team kept exactly 0 notes for Winters' interviews, and staff members confirmed he was the only guest who received no pre-interview preparation because Johnny told them directly not to brief him, not to plan anything, just put him in the chair and watch what happens.
So I was misunderstood a great deal. But I got out eventually. I knew I would. I had good feelings about that. And I got out. I spent 2.5 years, and then I wandered around aimlessly. Looking for odd jobs, and being odd, I found a lot of odd work.
Number 6, The Union General, September 19th, 1991, 17 million views.
You see, the only thing in my section of Ohio, the river's dried up. Fish are just there in the dust.
They're good eating, though.
That's all, yeah.
Already get yourself some trout jerky.
It's like a chicken, you know. If you hit a chicken in the road, we used to just throw it in the back of the pickup.
The September 19th, 1991 broadcast now has 17 million views on YouTube. And after studying the timestamp data, viewer retention stays above 94% for the entire segment, which is statistically impossible for an unscripted bit from 1991, but it happened anyway.
Nice to be here.
How goes the battle?
Well, pretty good so far. Made it across into Van Nuys. That one shoulder took us out.
Winters entered wearing a full American Civil War Union General's uniform. And sitting next to him was Robin Williams, fresh off playing Winters' Orkin Mirth on Mork and Mindy, along with actress Park Overall.
When you were doing Mork and Mindy, how long ago? Was that 10 or 12 years?
About 10.
And Jonathan came on and did how many episodes with you?
Oh, it was about 20 of them.
Some of the funniest episodes
It was
ever done
amazing.
on television.
The moment Jonathan sat down, he delivered one line with a 1,000-yard stare. We lost the fort.
We lost the fort. The Indians were sober. We were drunk this time.
What followed was three-way improvisational architecture that's never been replicated, with Carson anchoring the scene while Williams played support to his mentor instead of dominating the room like he normally did.
We did. We had a marvelous time.
Those were good days.
You had access to more medication in those days.
Yeah, some of the shows were real quick.
I noticed the stuff wore off tonight.
Winters led them through an increasingly surreal narrative about campaign life, lost forts,
Now, how do you deal going down doing the show? You know, as you say, you're not as young as you used to be. A lot of stress doing the show.
Yeah, there is a lot of stress. I find that at 6'5", you're on these hard floors. Legs go.
Yeah.
They really go. The mind, of course, hey, that was gone a long time ago. Don't worry about it.
and his concern that his pets might fall during an earthquake while he was away at
Well, I worry about my pets because they fall down.
We have to do
They're old.
Yeah. Oh.
And yeah, they fall over. And when you get a major shake, the animals, especially the animals, stiff.
Their legs are locked or something? Or? Well, that's
I
a
have a
shame.
stiff dog and
I
a
didn't know
stiff
that.
cat, and they fall over, you know.
And here's the detail everyone misses. Winters mentioned earthquake layering absurdity because civil generals didn't worry about earthquakes.
I learned about something about you tonight. Somebody's talking about living in California. You've got a genuine fear of earthquakes out here? Somebody said you get a little stressful with
Well,
them?
I don't care for them.
Well,
He'd built an entire alternative history where seismic activity was a legitimate military concern, and nobody questioned it because the internal logic was airtight.
I was at a party the other night, and the conversation was a lot of stuff, environmental things, and it came around to earthquakes, and there's always one person, a man or a woman, young or old, that says,
Well, whatever we've experienced in the past is going to be nothing to what the big one is going to be.
Robin Williams considered Jonathan Winters as his comedy Buddha, and he was right because most comedians fear silence while Winters leveraged it.
There'll be ocean all the way to Bakersfield.
and I thought, why stop there? You know?
Number 5, the Midwestern Bond. Off the sauce. Conversations
Of course, you've been off the sauce for
Oh, yes.
a number of
about
years.
15 years. Yeah, I put that on the shelf.
between 1974 and 1991, Winters and Carson discussed their recovery from personal challenges, and at a time when discussing such topics ended careers, these two Midwest boys from Dayton, Ohio and Norfolk, Nebraska openly talked about being off the sauce on national television.
I
And,
remember.
well, when you're doing, 75, 80 miles an hour going down the wrong freeway, the traffic coming against you, that's a little frightening to them and you.
After counting all the segments, I realized these weren't just two friends reminiscing, but deliberate destigmatization happening in real time. Because public conversations about a topic that destroyed careers in that era doesn't happen by accident.
I was doing about 75, 80, and slowed down immediately, and I was bombed to the gills. And the guy said, pull over. And I said, whereabouts? And right there.
Most people remember Carson as emotionally distant, and he was with everyone except Winters, because when Jonathan told drinking stories from their early days in the industry, Johnny's body language changed completely.
I remember us sitting together one night. I remember both of us sitting together one night some years ago in a place called the Garden of Allah.
Ladies of the evening, that came from strange places into that little funny place. We sat on the pool. We were completely clothed, legs in the pool, shoes and everything on. And,
His shoulders relaxed, his laugh became genuine instead of performative, and you could see him drop the host persona he wore with everyone else.
I tell you, I like it better the way I am now.
Right.
Because when I see something in the zoo, I recognize it, and
you say that's a bear.
right.
There's a lion.
He sat there and shared the memory like they were alone in a bar instead of on national television.
I remember one time, some highway, a major highway.
Had concrete on it and everything.
Had
Yes.
concrete and everything. And I was sitting like this in the snow.
It created what Paste magazine later called a special warmth and a sense of time travel because audiences weren't watching a talk show anymore.
State highway patrolman came up and he said, can I help you? And I said, yes, you can. I've been meditating over whether this vodka's gone or... He took me in for a little observation. I was frozen harder than a cart.
Number 4, the BBQ Ribs and the Emmy, September 1991.
Yes, I want to congratulate you, General, on winning the Emmy for
thank
Davis
you.
Rules, Best Supporting Actor.
On September 22nd, 1991, Winters won the Primetime Emmy for Outstanding Supporting Actor in a Comedy Series for Davis Rules, and he skipped the ceremony to eat barbecue ribs.
I really think that I was going to win, and I turned to my wife of many years, and I said, "What do you think, sweetheart?" And she said, "You don't stand a chance."
When he told Johnny this story during his next Tonight Show appearance, he spent minutes describing the ribs' texture and the casual atmosphere, but devoted only seconds to the Emmy itself.
Unfortunately, we had a thrilling evening. And that isn't a put down, because I know the guy that threw the evening is hopefully listening. We had a choice, one choice, of going to a fellow's house to have ribs.
Most actors treat awards as career validation, but Winters treated his Emmy win like a phone call interrupting dinner.
Thought I'd say his, no. But we had, they were marvelous ribs, hands and stuff.
This was a man who'd spent 8 months in a psychiatric ward in the early 1950s and understood that mental survival required valuing real connection over industry recognition.
And then we sat down and watched. There were about 12 or 14 of us, and then they announced it, and I saw the picture of myself, the still, and I was in just a house with a handful of other people on ribs. I asked, and then the following day, I said, "Where is the award?"
That's right.
Somebody said, "Well, since you weren't there, you don't get it."
Was that your wife again?
No.
Carson knew this history, which is why he let the ribs story run long, because he understood what Winters was actually saying underneath the comedy. Number 3, the Glued Cat Story, November 20, 1974, 4.2 million views.
I had a thing happen. I was painting the other night, and some glue spilt on the floor, and I forgot momentarily. I phased out,
On November 20th, 1974, Winters told Johnny about accidentally gluing his cat to the floor while working with adhesive, and the clip now has 4.2 million views, making it the 3rd most watched Winter segment in the Carson archive.
And here was glue just all over, and my cat came down, and I noticed Kitty was quite still.
Other comedians have attempted to recreate this bit, and they all fail because they misunderstand the mechanism at work, which wasn't a story about a cat, but a masterclass in escalation architecture. Winters started with a simple premise about a household adhesive mishap, and he built a catastrophe that included confusion, his own escalating panic.
I said, "Come on, Kitty. Kitty, kitty, kitty. Come on, Tiger." That's
Tiger.
his name, Tiger. "Come on, Tiger. Come on, Tiger." And Tiger's just like this, And I looked down at his little paws, and he was in quite hard in the glue.
What most analysis misses is that the glued cat story worked because Winters never explained why gluing a cat was funny. He just assumed you understood, and that assumption created intimacy by making the audience complicit in the absurdity instead of observers of it.
And I said, "Well, it's tough, I'm strong. I can get out of it." I said, "You just make up your mind you're going to get out of that glue." But I had to give him some help.
Yeah.
Left his paws, but... I'm kidding.
Number 2, not a fan of school. The classroom survival strategies.
At 11, of course, I was still doing this. If I give you... Oh, they were saying that. If I give you 4 apples and 3 more... How many do you have? Too many for my lunchbox.
A recurring theme across multiple Carson appearances involved Winters recounting his complete dislike for the educational system, and he used his quick wit to describe the creative physical excuses he invented to avoid participating in class.
What were you like in school?
What was I like?
Were you disruptive?
Oh.
Were you a...
No, I wasn't.
Now, most people would think you're crazy.
I know that. Well, they do today.
Yes.
But years ago, I was a very normal child. Too normal, probably. I wasn't making any money.
He famously claimed to have arthritis in both feet to dodge walking to the blackboard, telling the teacher, "I can't walk, sir. Maybe if you bring the board to me."
I was calling on, failures then. I mean, mind failures, arthritis in both feet. So I'd say, "I can't walk, sir. I can't walk to the board. Maybe if you bring the board to me."
And he'd act out the entire scene with full vocal characterization of both himself as a student and the frustrated teacher.
I was blown in all departments. Math was not my best.
Yeah.
Johnny explained that he only liked multiple choice tests because they gave him a shot at it through guessing.
I like the multiple choice stuff because you had a shot at it. You know?
Where did you go to school?
You could take a guess.
And he joked about a teacher named Dr. Nendler who supposedly cheated him by not providing multiple choice options on exams.
Did you have multiple choice?
Sure we had some
I
of those.
told you, Dr. Nendler. You cheated me. We didn't get the multiple choice.
Most notably, he described his brief college career, which he claimed lasted just about an hour, before clashing with faculty authority over discipline and having just returned from 3 years in the Marines when a professor told him to assume the angle for a paddling. Winters back, "What angle are we talking about? Go back to geometry again," and walked out for good.
3 years in the Marines, and a guy said, "Assume the angle." And I said, "What angle are we talking about? We're back to geometry again." So I grabbed the angles.
I would say this was some really, really funny stuff. Number 1, Maude Frickert, the character who made $847,000 in hefty commercials.
Say, don't I know you? Yes, my name's Maude. You bet. The quality goes in before the name goes on. Oh, that's a very famous slogan.
Maude Frickert appeared on The Tonight Show for 31 years, the same span as Carson's entire run. And while most people remember her as a sweet grandmother character, she functioned as the most profitable insult delivery system in television history.
Waitress. Topless waitress. Yes.
My body's like an uprooted rubber plant.
Winters created Maude in the early 1950s, and by 1982, she was earning him $847,000 annually from hefty trash bag commercials alone, appearing as what the ad copy called a dapper garbage man.
And this is the little scene, the typical scene, a 34 Ford. And Grandma Frickert is up there in the front seat, 87 years old, all there though, and several neighbors have come along for the ride.
But the Tonight Show appearances showcased something the commercials couldn't capture.
So they're driving along, and Dad, of course, is at the wheel. And Grandma might say, "Gee whiz, Dad, how about it? When are we going to find a spot? We've just been going along endlessly."
Carson would interview Maude about romance and youth culture, and she'd respond with barbs so sharp that if they came from Winters himself, NBC's Standards and Practices Department would have stepped in to shut it down.
Didn't I remember you? Didn't Maude Frickert used to
Maude
read
Frickert.
Christmas poems? Or
Well, yes, Maude Frickert did a little thing. I don't have any of the drawings, but I did a routine with the old lady, and I had the gray hair, and the bun in the back, and the long dress and little brooch. And
The character's age functioned as a legal shield for material that pushed every boundary, which is the contrarian angle nobody discusses about Maude Frickert.
I always come out with my Christmas cards, and I was influenced highly by Grandma Moses. I'm 94 years old.
94.
And the clown on the NBC hour always says, "Another pretty woman, Oh, geez.
She was subversive because she proved audiences would accept anything if you framed it correctly.
Forgotten about Lenny.
Yeah.
Hi, Grandma, how you doing? I've asked you never to come in here at this time of year. Your mouth full of that tobacco, you nasty man. Grasshopper and Levi's, get out of here.
And Winters understood that context controls content at the molecular level.
Well, listen, you ladies lay up there in bed and suck on that eggnog. That's your dog here. Come here, Growler.
Carson's staff had one rule for Winters, which was zero preparation, no talking points, no planned bits, and no safety net whatsoever. This terrified NBC executives because network television in the 1970s and 1980s ran on predictability. Both men came from the Midwest, Winters from Dayton and Carson from Norfolk, and they understood something coastal comedians didn't, which is that you don't need flash if you have foundation built on hard work, humility, and the confidence to let silence do the heavy lifting. Bill Burr said that Carson's ability to let a guest do their thing without constant interruption is a lost art, and the numbers prove him right. He understood that interrupting genius is just expensive silence that ruins what could have been magic. Winters passed in April 2013, and his Tonight Show segments now function as a masterclass that current comedians study but can't replicate because Winters operated on a frequency that required a specific receiver. Carson was that receiver, and the partnership worked because Johnny understood when to anchor and when to disappear, which is a skill modern hosts haven't learned because modern television doesn't reward it. Conan O'Brien said in an interview that rewatching Carson Winter segments feels like watching surgeons who invented their own procedures. And he's right, because these weren't live demonstrations of a methodology that passed away with them. After watching all 31 appearances, what strikes me most isn't the comedy, but the trust running underneath everything. Winters trusted Carson to not interrupt the silences, and the audience trusted both of them to deliver something unrepeatable.